This is GTA 5. The same graphics, the same driving, the same world we've seen for years. But with the right realism mods, everything changes. The city feels alive, and the driving feels real. So today, we test it. Let's begin. This is the original GTA 5. During the day, everything looks clean and bright. At night, the lights add some atmosphere. And in the rain, reflections make the world feel more dynamic. But no matter the time or weather, it still feels basic. At first, it still feels like GTA 5. But as you start driving, something feels different. The lighting is sharper, more natural, and every surface reacts to the sunlight. Cars don't just look good anymore. They feel grounded in the world. Even on foot, the difference is noticeable. Shadows move realistically, details stand out more, and the world feels more alive around you. Then, as the sun begins to set, everything shifts. The sky fills with warm tones, and the entire city takes on a cinematic look. And this is where it really starts to change. At night, the lighting completely transforms the city. Street lights glow naturally, reflections spread across the roads, and every surface feels more detailed. Add a bit of rain, and it becomes something else entirely. The roads turn reflective, light scatters across the environment, and the atmosphere feels heavier, more real. Driving through the city now isn't just movement, it's an experience. Even outside the city, the difference holds up. The desert feels wider, the lighting feels more natural, and everything looks cleaner, more refined. This isn't just a visual upgrade, it changes how the game feels. These are the original GTA 5 cars, inspired by real vehicles, but they still feel far from realistic. The details are limited, the reflections look artificial, and overall, the cars just don't feel real enough anymore. But everything changes once real-world cars are added into the game. Instead of the fictional GTA vehicles, you now have fully detailed cars with real brands, real logos, accurate interiors, proper proportions, and far more realistic designs. Every reflection reacts naturally to the environment. The body lines look sharper, and the materials feel far more authentic. Combined with the enhanced lighting and graphics, the entire driving experience feels completely different. Cruising through the city now feels less like playing a game, and more like driving through a real world. With realism mods and real-world cars, GTA 5 starts to feel completely different. Watching a fully detailed BMW cruise through the highway, with realistic reflections, natural lighting, and the city moving around it, almost doesn't feel like a game anymore. Every shot feels smoother, more cinematic, and far closer to real life than the original version ever did. And the realism doesn't stop with the visuals. The driving itself feels completely transformed. Cars now have proper weight, sharper handling, realistic acceleration, and far more natural movement. Even crashes feel heavier and more believable, making every turn, brake, and mistake feel more intense. Instead of the arcade-style driving from the original game, every vehicle now feels like it has real presence on the road. The traffic also feels far more realistic now. Instead of seeing the same few vehicles everywhere, the roads are filled with a much wider variety of cars, making the city feel more natural and alive. From normal traffic to luxury vehicles moving through the streets, everything blends together in a way that makes Los Santos feel closer to a real modern city. One of the biggest changes comes from the vegetation overhaul. In the original game, a lot of areas across Los Santos can feel empty, repetitive, and strangely lifeless after spending enough time in the world. But once the enhanced vegetation mods are installed, the entire atmosphere of the city changes completely. Trees are placed more naturally across roads, neighborhoods, highways, and open areas, making the environment feel far denser and more alive. Streets that once looked flat and artificial now feel filled with detail and depth. The added greenery breaks up the emptiness of the city and gives every location a much more realistic look. Driving through Los Santos now feels completely different. Sunlight passes through tree branches, shadows move naturally across the roads, and entire areas feel more immersive simply because the world no longer feels empty. Even smaller streets and residential areas gain a completely new atmosphere with the added vegetation. And it's not just about visuals. The greenery changes the overall mood of the game. Instead of feeling like a static open-world map, Los Santos starts to feel like an actual living city with more natural environment surrounding it. Combined with the upgraded graphics, realistic lighting, and improved weather, the vegetation overhaul helps make GTA 5 feel far more modern and believable. It's a small detail at first glance, but once you notice it, the original world suddenly feels much more dead and outdated in comparison. And honestly, the added vegetation alone makes Los Santos feel far more alive and realistic than the original game ever did. The city itself also feels completely transformed now. The old repetitive road textures have been replaced with far more detailed and realistic surfaces, giving the streets a cleaner and more modern look. Roads now have sharper markings, better texture quality, improved reflections, and more vibrant colors that make driving through the city feel visually fresh again. But the biggest difference comes from the small environmental details spread across Los Santos. Realistic billboards, updated storefronts, real-world food chains, modern advertisements, and detailed shop textures make the city feel far more believable. Instead of looking like a generic game world, Los Santos now feels closer to an actual modern city filled with real businesses, real branding, and realistic urban detail. Every street feels more alive, every area has more personality, and the environment no longer feels outdated or empty. Combined with the upgraded lighting and vehicles, these changes help turn GTA 5 into a version of Los Santos that feels much closer to real life. The realism goes even further with the fuel system. Vehicles no longer have unlimited fuel, meaning every car now consumes fuel realistically while driving across the city. Long highway drives, high speeds, constant acceleration, and aggressive driving all affect fuel usage, making every vehicle feel much more realistic and believable during gameplay. Gas stations across Los Santos are now fully functional, allowing you to pull over, refuel your vehicle, and continue driving just like in real life. And if you ever run out of fuel in the middle of nowhere, the game even allows you to use a jerry can to manually refill your car on the spot. Small details like this completely change how vehicles feel in the game. Instead of driving endlessly without thinking, you now have to actually pay attention to fuel usage, plan longer trips more carefully, and manage your vehicle properly. It adds a whole new layer of immersion that makes the world feel far more alive and realistic than the original GTA 5 experience. The police system has also been completely transformed with the Pull Me Over mod, making law enforcement feel far more realistic than in the original GTA 5. Instead of instantly attacking the player for every small mistake, police officers now actually monitor your driving behavior and react based on how you drive around the city. If you exceed the speed limit, drive recklessly, or commit traffic violations, nearby officers can pull you over just like in real life. The fines you receive also depend on how serious the violation is. Minor speeding may only result in a warning or a smaller fine, while excessive speeding and dangerous driving can lead to much harsher penalties. The system becomes even more realistic because it keeps track of repeated violations over time. At first, police may give you multiple chances to correct your behavior, but the more laws you break, the stricter the system becomes. After crossing a certain number of violations, officers can eventually arrest you, adding actual consequences to reckless driving. And if you decide to ignore the stop or try to escape, the situation escalates naturally into a full police chase. Backup units arrive, officers become more aggressive, and what started as a simple traffic stop can quickly turn into complete chaos. Small systems like this completely change the feeling of driving around Los Santos. You can no longer just speed through the city without consequences. Every road, every police car, and every decision while driving now feels much more immersive, believable, and realistic. With all these realism mods combined, GTA 5 no longer feels like the same game anymore. From the visuals to the driving and the world itself, Los Santos finally feels alive. And honestly, this is probably the most realistic version of GTA 5 I've ever played. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more GTA 5 realism content like this. And if you want to try these mods yourself, all the mods used in this video are linked below in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.